So I went down to the library today and I've been reading the BBC website, and one of the articles was skyscrapers are linked to recession. So there's a person reporting that they think that part of the cause of recessions is building skyscrapers. Now quite clearly these people are complete lunatics, and this is why. Now after a recession there's little or no money in the economy because of the nature of the recession. So as time goes by the economy starts building up again, and eventually the banks start getting confident and they start lending money or releasing the funds to allow big companies to build big projects like skyscrapers. Now by the time this has happened and the skyscrapers started to be built, it's about time for the next recession. Now and I know that sounds a little bit daft, like, yeah, but I'm not 50 years old yet, and there's been 5 major recessions in my lifetime. So that's a recession every 7 or 8 years on average. So quite clearly there's recession after recession after recession, and you look back through history and there's recession after recession after recession, and it just keeps on happening. And to link skyscrapers to recessions is just absolutely ridiculous and bonkers, and it's turning people against skyscrapers and high-rises. Now high-rises are good, but let me flip this on the opposite side. Now there's little villages and towns out there, and we can expand them. Instead of building big skyscrapers and putting a lot of people in a small space, we can expand the little villages and the little towns. But that would be building on what we call greenbelt land in England, and obviously that's not very appetising neither. So these activists and these stupid people that can't write proper articles and just scare people and try to brainwash people into activism, they haven't got a clue what they want. They complain about greenbelt building and they complain about brown belt building, so the only other option they've got is to have war and kill lots of people. And the reason is because the human population is expanding, and when it expands we need more buildings to put the people in, and as we grow more intelligent we want more space and more things for ourselves. So you can't have everything. The planet's only a certain size unless you want to evaporate the oceans and make more land, or cut down the mountains and make more land. But if we did that, the amount of pollution, you'd start complaining about that as well. So if you've got a solution to the housing problem, you activist idiots, why don't you come up with it? And I don't want to go to war. I want skyscrapers. I don't want to have coal and oil emissions. I want nuclear power stations. I don't want to have 40-mile-an-hour trains. I want 200, 500, 1,000-mile-an-hour trains. I don't want puny little crappy aeroplanes which run on aviation fuel. I want electromagnetic aeroplanes. But to have these things we need lots of power and lots of energy. And the only way we're going to get all this power and energy is through nuclear, using nuclear power. Because coal doesn't cut the biscuit, you know. It just doesn't do it. Gas just doesn't do it. Oil just doesn't do it. And all these fossil fuels do is add carbon to the atmosphere, which traps more heating. And now I'm in England, and it's now January the 11th, and it hasn't snowed once in the end of 2011 and the start of 2012. I don't care if I'm tempting fate, because I know about global warming and I know full well we're not going to get much snow, if any at all. So, you know, these people, they just, I can't understand what they want. If they could come up with an answer for what they actually want and how they're going to do it, with, you know, plans, good solid plans, and then start up businesses and put their plans into motion, then I'll support them. But they have got no plans. The only way that we could satisfy what they want would be to go to war. So pick up your guns and go to war and start smashing each other's heads up in town centres. Oh, you are doing that, you stupid activist idiots. We can't make you happy. It doesn't matter what we do, we can't make you happy. You're just a bunch of idiots, and you get things your way because activists, the people that go out there and sit in trees and whatever to stop these buildings going on, they get it their way. So the small majority, the small minority, like 1% or 0.5% of people that are these activists, they're the most active people out there. They go out there and do these things. Whereas I just trust my government to get on with it, and if we make a mistake, let's fucking learn from it. Let's try something different, try something new, make it better. These activists go out there and hold the economy up and cost themselves and their children billions and trillions and countless amounts of money just to stop us from learning. And say, well, we can learn from the mistake. They've got nothing. So if you want to sit around a campfire, the best advice I can give to all you activists, right, if you want to sit around a campfire and sing Kumbaya, is go across to Brazil, into the Amazon rainforest, and Chile and Argentina, around that area, and there's nomads around there, and go and fight for your land. You get around about 20 people for every 5 square miles, and they're called tribes. It's tribal, and they've got bows and arrows, and they've got clubs, and they've got poison, and they shoot each other with bows and arrows and club each other and eat each other like cannibals. That's what you want? Off you go. That's where they are. South America. Don't come back crying, love, because that's where you're going to go if you carry on being activist and stop us having nuclear stuff and stop us having high-rise buildings and stopping us expanding villages. What do you want? Put your plans forward. Go down to the planning office, put some plans in. Ask if you get a decent business plan together, go down to see the bank manager and say, look, I need £4 billion to do this, and the plan works, and the bank manager can see that it works. He will give you the money if you can get planning permission for it. So you get planning permission, it costs you money. You put a business plan together, you either do it yourself or pay someone to do it for you. Then you apply for the cash. Then you can employ some builders and build what you think's good. Go on, off you go, you fucking... Oh, I can do miles better. I built a log cabin up in the hills, and it's built out of logs. It's all natural. It's got solar panels on the roof, and it's got a solar thermal atrium in the centre. The building's big enough, right, to house about 40 people. Yeah, it's got enough energy to support 40 people. I've got me, my wife, and 3 children, and everybody else can stay away because I'm an activist. I'm an ex-activist, and I'm a green person, and I want all of the hill to myself. Stay away, if I'm going to shoot ya! I'm an activist! Ah! And that's what they're like. That's what they're like. You go and see them, right, when they start building stuff. You go and see them when they start building it, and you'll see they've built a log cabin somewhere, and it's got solar panels on it, and it's got solar thermal, and it's got a heated atrium, and it costs £500,000 to house one family. Where do they get their ideas from? You know, who are these activist fucking twats? Have you seen their fucking houses when they actually get the money together and they build it, like, yeah, because they're selfish fucks as well? Have you seen what they fucking build, these fucking pricks? They start off being vegetarians, and they're not vegetarians no more than they are vegetarians. Then they build a fucking house which they think is so fucking green it's unbelievable, not realising they've used 3 acres of land to build a house for one person, oh sorry, one family. Then when it's decapitated by the time they're 70, they don't care about the rest of the planet, and they try and sell it to someone for as much as they can so they can leave some money to their children. And it's in a poor state of condition because they're fucking pricks. And that happens, and that's what they do. Because they're twisted, mind-fucked idiots. And that's what you've got. Twisted, mind-fucked idiots. who think they're going to save the planet. You know, even Greenpeace have changed their stance on nuclear power because they even know, and now they've got even more proof. They've got a ship out there in Fukushima harbour trying to pick up radioactivity to try and prove that there's radioactivity in the ocean, and they haven't found fuck all.